Ino woki wi ponji kukumelemba gurigo. Apostle Francis Owachi ponji kukumelemba gurigo. Muwacha guri noke.
Our viewer, this is KOKOLORIKO live on West Nile TV. My name is Opingopi Yusuf Andabati from the heart of West Nile region, and we're broadcasting live and lighting the region. And this morning I have a gentleman with whom we're going to be discussing a number of issues as far as our region is concerned and Uganda at large. Wherever you're viewing us from, I want to let you know that we will be giving you updates on a number of issues that are transpiring in this region, from Zombo to Ajumani, from Koboko to Pakwach. We are lighting the region, not forgetting Gulu, Lira, and the whole of northern Uganda. A number of issues, like I said, have taken shape. But how have these issues unfolded? Are there people that have given the eagle eye into the issues that have taken shape? Yes, I have a gentleman. What a guest. Oringi Dennis. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
I believe you're doing well. Things are moving on well, I can see.
God is great.
Yeah, it has been a while sitting together and discussing pertinent issues in this particular sub-region called West Nile. And I am delighted to be in this studio this morning as we will be discussing some of the issues that we have on table.
Fast forward. Let's look at the issue of Mountain K Forest Reserve. Encroachers were evicted from the Mountain K Forest Reserve. It was not the first time. It was the second or even the third time this eviction has taken place. You spoke to the LC3 chairman of Midigo sub-county, you also, Midigo town council, sorry. You spoke to the LC3, the vice LC5 chairman for Yube district, and there were a number of issues. You also spoke to the locals, the people who, the purported encroachers who were evicted from Mountain K Forest Reserve. What did you find on ground?
All right, thank you very much, my brother Andy, and dear viewer who is tuned at this particular time. It is very important that you should be able to know what is happening in West Nile sub-region. Yeah, you're right. I was able to go to Midigo Town Council, one of the newly created town councils we have in West Nile sub-region, and I did speak to the chairperson, LC3, we call such people, mayors.
Yes.
So he's the town council mayor of Midigo. He was able to bring out a lot of things pertaining the eviction of the purported encroachers on Mount K Central Forest Reserve. And you need to know that Mount K Central Forest Reserve, it is one of the central forest reserves we have in this country, Uganda. And I would really say that it's one of the biggest central forest reserve we have in West Nile.
Really?
What he was able to bring out on behalf of the people who are said to be the encroachers, one, he says that it is true that NFA wrote a public notice to the encroachers to vacate the forest as soon as possible. If not, they will be forcefully evicted. Two, he said that what is at hand right now is about the issue of the documentation of the forest reserve. That there's no proper document, there's no proper demarcations of this particular central forest reserve called Mount K. And that is why it is very hard for the locals who are said to be the encroachers to live. Because they don't know
where the
boundary is. And they do not know where they belong. Some of them are saying that, could it be where they have settled, there are a number of big trees that could be of interest to some people in
that they want them out, and
they want them
so they
out, and then they can really get
cut down the trees.
So I need to say this. From what I was able to gather from different leaders of Yumbe district, and I also did speak to the spokesperson for National Forestry Authority. She was able to say a lot of things.
Okay.
She said, yes, as NFA, they were able to issue the public notice so that the encroachers should really leave as per the law. But we should not forget what the mayor of Midigo Town Council brought out. Proper documentation of the Mount K Central Forest Reserve. There's no clear map that can easily, show that this is the boundary of the Central Forest Reserve. So what they need, as the local leader of Midigo, together with the people, they want government to come out clearly with the proper demarcation of the forest reserve. If that is not going to be there, indeed, the government will be having running battles
with the locals.
With the locals.
Who are near some of these forest reserves. Now, that brings me to the issue of ownership. Who actually owns these forest reserves?
Thank you.
Is it the local government or it is National Forestry Authority? Because you realize that at a certain point, the forestry NFA takes ownership of these forest reserves. Look at Barifa. Look at Zoka. And a number of them. Now, who owns them? For example, if you look at Barifa, you realize that it was put in place by the locals. But later on, there is some kind of ownership from NFA. Now, this again brings in the conflict that is in place. You realize that the local politicians are saying something else in regard to the people who are encroaching, and NFA is saying another. What does this bring? Will this be able to take the conflict to another level?
Yeah, thank you very much. As the name sounds, Mount K Central Forest Reserve. It is owned by the central government. According to NFA Act, it stipulates clearly the categories of forests that are supposed to be owned by government, in which Mount K Central Forest Reserve falls under NFA.
Okay.
So it is being controlled by NFA. Now, NEMA comes in when there is issue of environmental degradation. If the trees that are on that land, when the trees belonging to that forest reserve are not being properly used by the people. Yes, there are issues to do with controlling people from cutting down the trees from these, forest reserve. The big question now is, who are the people cutting down trees in this Central Forest Reserve, and why are they cutting down trees? For instance, from the look of things, I was able to realize that the locals who are said to be the encroachers, these are poor people. These are poor people who cut down trees to get charcoal so that they can really sell to the users. And they get some money so that they can really buy food for their family members, so that they can really pay school fees for their children. We should not forget also that there are a number of trucks
that leave
Yumbe, that leave K with a lot of logs.
I remember there was a point where a truck full of logs actually plunged into River Nile when it was crossing from Moyo to Ajuma.
Ask yourself,
yes,
where was that truck from with all those logs? So you need to know that these logs are being ferried from Mount K Central Forest Reserve. And the question here is, we are looking at these locals to be the encroachers. We have not looked at the owners of these cars who are ferrying logs from Mount K Central Forest Reserve. And do you know how much these so-called owners of the lorry trucks that are really living with logs from Mount K Central Forest Reserve, how much they're buying each log? 50,000 only. And you know how much they're selling? When these logs leave this country, Uganda, they are selling, each log is costing over 50 million. And these logs, it has got a central place in Kampala where they are ferried, put there, then they are transported out of the country using trains. You understand? So currently, how can we harmonize the situation? Because we're looking at creating peace between the local government of Yumbe, the local government of Koboko,
yes.
NFA, together with even NEMA. Now, what needs to be done is one, NFA should really come out clearly to give out the demarcation
Of
to the,
Mount K Forest Reserve.
to the local leadership of Yumbe district. Two, the local government should work together with NFA to ensure that the forest is not encroached.
Okay, now that brings me to a similar situation. If you can remember, some time ago, there was this fight between the people of Madi and the people of Acholi over upper land. And this upper land was a very contentious issue until the government instituted a commission of inquiry to ascertain what the reality is on ground, up to the extent where the speaker even came on ground to understand further where the problem could be. And you realize that this conflict continued despite the fact that some demarcations were done, despite the fact that the government had to intervene to make sure that there was no bloodshed. But despite all that, recently the president had actually directed, on a number of issues as far as upper land is concerned. But the Mali people rejected the president's directive on upper land. What does this mean?
Yeah, thank you very much. It all comes back to what we call demarcation. And the problem here is...
But for upper, you realize that the demarcation was done. And this contentious land, if you can recall, was demarcated and it was carved towards what? The Mali people.
That is the late demarcation, you understand? I would really say that the demarcation done on upper land, it was quite a little bit political. Remember, the leadership from Ajumani side and also Amoro side, they were able to reject some of the leaders who were put in place to ensure that they look into the matter of upper land. Remember, the former Prime Minister of Uganda, that is none other than
Dr.
Rwakana Rugunda, was the chairperson of a commission that was tasked to investigate and find out what is the problem. Up to now, we do not know where he has really put his
commission of inquiry,
his documents and what they have really found out from the other side. Remember, the president proposed having Moses Ali, the current second deputy prime minister of the Republic of Uganda,
the people on the other side
to head the commission. The people on the other side rejected. And then you have reminded me of the deputy speaker then, that is Jacob Olanya, now the speaker of parliament. He was also selected to head the committee.
The people on Madiland rejected.
Yeah, the people of Madiland rejected, say that Jacob Olanya is an Acholi. He will not be fair to them as the people of Ajumani. So does it mean there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of tribal sentiment in some of these land conflicts? So how can this be put to an end? Yeah,
to make sure that there is no bloodshed in the near future?
The thing comes back to the government. The government is the cause of this problem. Why am I saying the government at this particular time? Government is not having a proper demarcation, lines that can be used to show to the leadership of Ajumani and the leadership of Amoro. If the government of the Republic of Uganda was having a proper, map of the area of the wildlife reserve,
area, yes,
of the contested area, we would not be having this problem. But we should also know that because of some people who are benefiting a lot from some of these forest reserves, they are the one fueling some of these conflicts. Then we should also remember that during the LRA insurgency, number of the Asholis from the other side of Amoro, they were able to leave Amoro because of the insurgency, and they went into internally displaced camps
on the other side.
On the other side. Now, after the war, they were able to move back to their homeland
that they left. Only to find it was
already occupied by Uganda Wildlife Authority. Then that is where now the issue started. Then the other proposal that came in that Ajumani should be able to take a full charge. Actually said no. Then you have to know that there was an investor who wanted to invest in things to do with
sugar.
Not sugar, something to do with it is gaming in the game result. You understand? But the man said we cannot invest in such area where there's a lot of conflict. So yesterday, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni met some leaders, and they were able to discuss some issues. And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni came out to say, what we need to do, we need to establish a commission of inquiry to find out whether these people who are fighting over this land started staying on that land from 1986. You understand?
Okay.
I think that will also not bring it out. And
it want to be able to bring out the real fact of the fight that we're having. And now let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll be diving deep into another discussion where recently, or on Saturday, we had the consecration of the Bishop of Nebi Diocese. We'll be diving into that discussion, and our reporters were in Nebi, and they'll be able to bring it up to speed with what transpired on Saturday, and also what really this means for the Catholic faithfuls and also for the laity in Nebi Catholic Diocese. My name is Opingopi. We'll be right back. This is Western TV, KOKOLORIKO live, and we are lighting the region. Like I said earlier on, we'll be getting into the aspect of the consecration of the Bishop of Nebi Catholic Diocese, and he became the Bishop of Nebi Diocese after the then Bishop Lino Wanok was transferred to Lira Diocese. After the then Bishop of Lira Diocese, Franzelli, actually resigned. He became Bishop Emeritus of Lira Diocese. I hope that is the right pontifical language that is used to refer to a former bishop who is still in existence. And so a lot of issues transpired on Saturday, and the new bishop of Nebi Diocese was gifted a brand new car by the President of the Republic of Uganda, and this was handed over to the new bishop by the State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Grace Kuching. And it was a very colorful event that took place on Saturday. A number of people came through, and what I did not know was whether SOPs were observed during this celebration. Our colleague Dennis Oringi will be able to tell us what actually transpired on Saturday, because he was on ground on that day. And let us know what this means for the Catholic faithfuls, and also what exactly transpired on Saturday as far as the consecration is concerned.
All right, thank you very much. Now the Bishop of Nebi Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Bishop, that is Pumwony Wakorach Raphael, he was appointed on 31st of March this year by the overseer, that is Pope Francis, from the Vatican. The consecration was supposed to be sometimes back. Because of COVID-19, it got affected, and this time around, I think the faithful from Nebi Catholic Diocese, they have looked into that matter and say the President should really, permit them to go ahead with the consecration, because in the absence of the bishop, there are a lot of things that do not go well. You understand? The people of Nebi Catholic Diocese missed a lot. The Christians missed a lot in the
after the transfer of the Right Honorable Lino to Lira.
For almost 2.5 years, Nebi Catholic Diocese was not having a bishop, much as it was headed by Emmanuel Odaga, who was the diocesan administrator, and he was able to lead the diocese very well. So last Saturday, 14th of August 2021, it was really a colorful day for the Christians of Catholic faith who are in Nebi Catholic Diocese. Personally, I was there and I was able to enjoy part of the Mass. It was so, colorful, and as a Catholic, I was also very happy with the consecration and installation. You need to know that now the Bishop of Nebi Catholic Diocese, he is one of the religious priests, now a bishop. In Catholic, we need to know that the hierarchy that one is supposed to follow to become a bishop. We have a deacon. A deacon is a student of a Catholic church, and he's called seminarian. So before the person is ordained a priest, the person has to stay for 1 year
before he becomes a priest.
Yeah, before he becomes a priest. In that 1 year, the person is supposed to learn a lot of things, how things are done in Catholic way. And then after you have been ordained as a priest, you have to serve as a priest. For you to become a bishop, it is not easy. And that's why Nebi Diocese for 2.5 years was not having a bishop, because there were a lot of processes that were involved to ensure
before they get one.
Yeah, before you get one. Now, the Christians belonging to Catholic faith in Nebi, they are now very happy. I happened to interview some few after the consecration and installation, and they were saying that they are now happy because some of the deacons who are not ordained can be ordained now, because the bishop is already there. And remember, a lot of activities got stalled
because of this.
Because of the absence of the bishop.
Okay.
And it is only the bishop that is recognized when it comes to signing for, for legal documents of the diocese. And also, the bishop is like the headmaster, for lack of word, allow me to use that word. He's like the headmaster
of the diocese.
Of the diocese and of the priests.
Now,
you understand?
Just for the record purposes, how big is Nebi Diocese? Is it only Nebi district, the political, boundary, or it includes Pakwach, it includes Zombo? How big is Nebi Diocese?
Yeah, thank you very much. Nebi Catholic Diocese is one of the unique dioceses that we have in Uganda. When we talk about the Catholic parishes that we have in Nebi Catholic Diocese, we have around 21 Catholic parishes. And are you aware that Nebi Catholic Diocese stressed up to Madi Okolo?
How is that possible?
We have Ulepi Parish. That is another Catholic Diocese. Okay. We have Rhinokem.
Okay.
Parish.
This Rhinokem,
yes,
where Madi Okolo district.
Yes, Rhinokem under Nebi Catholic Diocese. So Nebi Catholic Diocese starts from Pakwach district, Madi Okolo, Nebi district, Zombo, including even Nebi municipality.
Oh.
So it is one of the huge dioceses that we have in Uganda. And I have to tell you, the cathedral of Nebi Catholic Diocese is it is the biggest in Uganda in terms of capacity.
Okay.
And Nebi Catholic Diocese is one of the dioceses with very many Catholics.
Oh, interesting.
So Nebi Catholic Diocese is one of the interesting dioceses that one should really get to know.
To know more.
And when it comes to believing in Catholic faith, we have majority from Nebi. If you have asked me about Olepi, Rhinocam, how they have come to be part of Nebi Catholic Diocese, not Arua. I think that is something that I cannot get.
Okay, because if you know that Arua Diocese goes up to Jumani, goes to Moyo, which is very far away from where the headquarters are, from Ethiopia, and Madi Okolo, which is just near here, is under Nebi. A very interesting discussion we're having here. And let's shift some gears a little bit to the issue that we're having at hand. And from Nebi Diocese, let's come to Arua City. And just recently, the State Minister for Local Government actually came on ground, and she was bitter about the delayed completion of the Arua main market. And this is an issue that actually caught attention of a number of people. If you look at when this project was launched some time ago, by now, this project, the Arua main market, would have been completed. What is going on? And many people are asking questions. Why the delayment? The one for Soroti is complete. The one for Gulu is complete. the number of issues that surround the construction of this market. Recently, the MP of the former MP for Aivu constituency also posted some pictures of that he took from the Roman market, where the road that was already worked on had cracks. The compound had cracks. Maybe if I come to you, let's look at this. Is it a problem of shoddy work? Did the contractors, did the procurement process really go as it should be? What was the problem on ground? You were there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to thank the government of the Republic of Uganda for the kind gesture it has shown to the people of Arua and to the people of West Nile. The Arua main market, if it will be completed and commissioned, it will not only help the people of Arua city, but it will also help the people from South Sudan and also Democratic Republic of Congo. And you need to know that there were two components concerning the construction of this particular market. We also have the value addition.
The value addition.
That is in Zambia, Windiri ward. I was one of those who accompanied the State Minister of Local Government, Right Honorable, that is Victoria Rusoke. She was able to take a walk around the market together with the local leaders of the city, and there were a number of issues that came out during the inspection, how the work is progressing or how the works are progressing at the market. Some of the issues that we realized was that the contractor has delayed the work for almost 10 months. The market would have been commissioned together with Soroti. The President of the Republic of Uganda would have commissioned the market in the month of January, when he came for campaigns. But he couldn't commission the market simply because the market by that time was not completed. The excuse that the contractor gave was that COVID-19 affected everything.
Okay.
But I can remember vividly, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni cleared the contractor together with the workers to decide to continue working.
So we continue what happened at your site, and that is what the president said.
So another delay came when the fishmongers of Arua Central Market started complaining that what you have constructed cannot accommodate our fish that we buy from South Sudan, that we buy from, around Lake Albert. And then where we can stand will not even be there. Then it brought a lot of issues. Then the contractor was alerted and started working on that. Even up to now, as I'm talking right now, they are still fixing what we call the locks for the stalls that are at the market. And some of the locks can easily be destroyed by thieves who will be also vendors in that same market. Because they're putting this wooden, locks that can easily be destroyed. But what I can say is a lot of work needs to be done.
In this market?
In this market. One, before the vendors occupy the market, the vendors should be taken through how to use that market. There are modern toilets, there are modern machines, there are cameras, there are even wings that are meant for making phone calls, you understand? So that you don't shout anyhow, you don't... when you're making your deal with a customer somewhere.
There's also a spot for babies.
Yes.
Those mothers who come to the market with babies where they can go and breastfeed, where they can keep the babies.
Are you aware that the cookings that will be done at the market, the smoke will not be felt within the market? Because there's what we call modern stove that have been put also in that market. For those who will be operating restaurants. Then coming out of the market is really magnificent, so nice, so beautiful. It is outstanding. We don't have such market in West Nile apart from this one of Arua City. When you come out of the market, inside it is fine with the small stalls that I believe will also be corrected. The road in front of the market. Remember, that road was called, Aduka Road. You understand? That area that connects from Rhino Camp Road to Duka Road. The road in front of that market. The contractor has only worked on few meters, but the contractor has not tarmacked the road fully to the
From Rhino Camp Road,
from Rhino Camp Road to Duka Road. So if you're going to the market, you will first drive through mud for you to go to the market.
Wow.
So the contractor said that there is no fund to tarmac that road. Now the local leadership is saying that there is need to lobby from the president, at least to
Does
accept.
it mean this specific trench of the road was not part of the contractual agreement
Was not
between
there.
the government
Was
and
not
the
there.
contractor?
Was not there.
Interesting.
It was
Now,
not a shot. Then another thing that came out, there is a poor drainage in Arua City, currently as we talk. There is poor relationship between the contractor of the market and the National Water Authority. Are you aware that the contractor of the market wrote a letter to National Water Authority over a certain manhole that was oozing out,
around the market,
around the
newly
road
constructed
there.
market.
So it was oozing out feces, and the feces was everywhere. And if that one is not corrected, that market will be a waste of time for the vendors. Before I leave this particular topic, I need to bring out this issue, and I need to be very serious here. And this should really go to the leadership of Arua City, who are managing this market, who are going to manage this market. Remember, before the construction of the market, we had persons who were using the area
Yes.
where the market
Yes.
has been constructed.
There were people
I
who
want
were
to ask
market
an
vendors
open
before
question
you.
at this particular time. What will happen to the project affected persons? Because in the corridors, rumors are coming that some of the stalls have been taken up by political leaders,
By the local authorities.
by the local authorities, and some of them are going to be landlords in the market, belonging to government. You understand? So meaning that Andy, if he wants to operate in that market, will go to a middle person who will give him
Then talk to the
money.
city authorities.
Talk to the city authority. So it's like you will be paying that person, then that person will be the one paying the city authority, in which that is going to be the corruption of the highest order. And I appeal to the market vendors to be a little bit very careful at this particular time. And at this particular point, I will also question what happened to the list of the market vendors who were verified by the Ministry of Local Government as far as occupying that market.
Occupying the market is concerned. Now, this brings us to the aspect that he just made mention of. If you look at the taxi park and the business center that has been completed, you realize the same scenario that you are talking about took effect. There are some councillors, some leaders within the central business center who are in position of authority. They have occupied some of those rooms in the taxi park and the taxi and business park. You realize that they instead give out these rooms to other vendors, and
that is
they
the-
get
that is
the right
corruption.
different receipt
That's
to
correct.
those people who occupied their rooms. One I got, and they told me it's 700. And then they pay a different amount. They get a different receipt from the central business division. I mean, to the central division authorities, which in itself is a very big corruption that is taking shape.
My brother
Now,
Andy, I need to say this. The city authority is going to have a lot of work in pushing the vendors who are currently occupying the temporary markets that we have. Leave alone that, let's talk about the street vendors. How will the city authority manage to push
the street vendors,
street vendors
from the street into this
into the market? Go to Idi Amin Road, go to Lemarijua Road, and you see the number of street
Even
vendors
come to
operating there.
Avenue Road.
Come to
near-
Avenue Road.
near Arroyo
So
Hill
these are
Roundabout.
some of the things that the city authority should be looking into at this particular time. We do not want the scenario of Gulu to take place in Arua, because when they completed construction of Gulu main market, I was there in Gulu, and this municipal authority then had to use bulldozer
To ferry people.
to chase away people from the temporary site that they were selling from. This will also be applied in Arua here.
I am very sure.
These people who are selling the temporary site should be able to move.
I'm very sure the Gulu scenario will be able to happen here. I'm not an angel of doom, but I can foresee that a scenario of such nature is going to occur here if the leadership of this city, if the leadership of the central division do not come in to help sensitize people at this very point in time. It will be very difficult for them to be able to take people, to coerce people to get into the market. And you also realize that at certain point, if there comes a middleman who talks to who pays to the authorities and in turn gives out this room to people to rent out to people, it will become very expensive and it will become very difficult for people to enter these markets. Let's take a break and we shall be coming right back to wrap it up as far as Kokoliriko Live is concerned. My name is Opingopi Yusuf Andabati. Stay with us. Welcome back, KOKOLORIKO live on West Nile TV. We're lighting the region. My name is Opingopi Yusuf Andabati, and this morning, like we have been here with you throughout, we are discussing a number of issues, bringing you up to speed with issues that transpire in this region and Uganda at large. And just so you know, we have 500 refugees coming in from Afghanistan. Those are Afghan refugees that have come into the country, and this stems from the fact that the United States of America requested the government of Uganda to, welcome around 2,000 Afghan refugees. Well, number of them are already in the country, 500, and we're expecting more, around 1,500 to come into this country. And many questions people are asking themselves, and also me and my colleague in the studio asking is, where will these refugees go? The Arab refugees, are they going to be in Biale? Are they going to be in Omugo? Or they are going to be in the largest refugee camp in Africa, BDPD in Yumbe district? We'll be looking into this aspect. And for me, this could in itself come with a number of opportunities for Ugandans, because if you talk about the job opportunities, recently, because of the reduction in humanitarian activities in the refugee camps, you realize that an NGO like MTI closed, and a number of NGOs were supposed to close, and this means unemployment rate also shoots up, because the locals in this region are supposed to benefit through employment. And now when these refugees come, my view is these refugees should be able to come and they should be settled in Bidibidi, because one, these refugees are Muslims. And if you look at the population of Yumbe district, you realize that a great percentage, up to even 80%, 85% of people of Yumbe are Muslims. And this will be able to cause that cohesion. It will be able to cause that harmonious relationship between the locals and the refugees that will be coming in from Afghanistan. Just in case the government brings them to Bidibidi, it will be the best place for them, not any other part of this country. That is my take. Mr. Orengi Dennis, what would you say about this, looking at Uganda's open policy, open refugee policy, welcoming policy, where refugees are welcome in this country? What would be your take on this?
Yeah, thank you very much. In the first place, I would like to say this.
Yeah.
In the strongest term, I condemn what is happening in Afghanistan. As a person who happened to experience life in the internally displaced camps we had in northern Uganda during the LRA insurgency, I know the kind of life these Afghan refugees are going through. And I would like to appreciate the government of the Republic of Uganda for being open.
Yeah.
As we talk right now, Ugandans should really know that Uganda is one of the peaceful countries we have on this planet Earth. You calculate the distance of Afghanistan to Uganda. How many countries were these people able to
cross before they came to East Africa?
Before coming to East Africa, in particular, the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. Don't we have neighboring countries? Neighboring Afghanistan? You understand?
Uzbekistan, they have a neighbor called Uzbekistan.
So, in this, we should be appreciative to the government of the Republic of Uganda under His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the kind gesture he has shown to the world that we can live as brothers and sisters.
Irrespective of your color,
your age, your religion, your tribe, because God has given us this earth that we should use.
Yeah.
And the refugees coming in gives the office of the Prime Minister a lot of work. These refugees are coming in a time we are experiencing what we call COVID-19.
Yeah.
And these should be taken up by the office of the Prime Minister in ensuring that the refugees that will be accommodated in Uganda are tested. I believe the testing is going on before they are integrated with the host communities and also other refugees who have been in the different settlements that we have.
Yeah.
When we talk about where they're supposed to be settled, in Uganda, there's another part of Uganda we have.
Within Uganda.
Within Uganda.
Yeah.
And that is West Nile. Currently, Uganda is known as the third country in as far as hosting refugees is concerned because of West Nile. Go to Bidibidi, go to Imvepi, go to Rhino Camp, the different settlements we have. Go to Umugo.
Go to Palorinya.
Go to Palorinya. And these refugees from Democratic Republic of Congo, these refugees from South Sudan have been staying in these places that we have mentioned since time immemorial, before even I was born. Because some of them are even older than me, they still call themselves refugees because they
even know the history.
They even know the history
of the land.
So, as Dennis Oringi, as a religious person, I would say, if my grandfather can authorize me also to give his piece of land he left for us to welcome these Afghan refugees, I would give with his consultation. May he so rest in eternal peace. Because we have enough vast land that is not being used even for commercial agriculture.
Maybe.
That is in Kuchwin. It is in Kuchwin sub-county.
Yeah.
Now, it is at the border of Pakwash district and Nebi district. I should say at this point is that as we welcome these refugees, I still repeat, the office of the Prime Minister should play its role in ensuring that the refugees that are coming should not be a problem again to this country.
The way it was before, issues of withdrawing funds, donor monies and stuff, because the officials in the Prime Minister's office ended up embezzling money.
So we are not against the refugees, but what we want to say at this point as people from this side of West Nile is that the refugees are welcomed, proper consultations, proper engagement with the local leadership of these districts where the refugees are going to settle should be there.
Okay.
Because over times, we have been hearing the local leadership of the different districts that these refugees as they are grumbling over the issue of, getting some benefit. But I would like to thank the Office of the Prime Minister for incorporating these districts under the HOPE project. Arua district benefited, much as it is not being considered currently. Then another thing that we need to know, these refugees who are from Afghanistan, they have been in urban areas. And I do not know whether they're going to be well
in the
Bidi
village. And I'm not very sure if they're farmers.
Don't be surprised to see that majority of these Afghan refugees ending up in Arua city. And therefore, I am appealing to the government to consider Arua city to be
a hub for urban
refugees, because in Uganda, government only considers Kampala as a hub for urban refugees. With the coming of these Afghanistan refugees, I believe Arua city will be considered to be second as a hub for urban refugees after Kampala,
Okay.
because we are feeling the pressure being, put on the citizens of the Republic of Uganda who are living in Arua city in terms of service delivery.
Okay.
And I believe when government considers Arua as a hub for urban refugees with the funding to the city authority, service delivery will be at a par.
Okay, and that means the city authorities should be able to take that up and discuss at another level altogether. And yes, does it mean we should be able to gear up for to receive the refugees that will be coming through? That is another question for discussion when the events unfold. Whether the refugees will be coming to, like my brother said, the other part of Africa, Western Nile region, to be in Bidi or in Omugo or wherever within this region, because we have vast land where the refugees can be in. But what are the economic activities of the people, the Afghans that are coming through? Are they undertaking the same economic activities like our brothers from South Sudan? That will itself also determine the location they will be in. I know so many people are interested, they should come this side for other reasons that we may not be able to discuss at this very point in time. Now, as we come to the conclusion of our Kokoloriko show live this morning, and I want to just have a hint as we wrap it up on the issue of the COVID-19 jabs. You realize that the Ministry of Education circulated a circular. There was a press release from the Ministry of Education to the general public, especially for the RDCs to follow, for the district leaders to follow, and also the city authorities to follow, where they said they had set up a precondition for the opening of these schools, that if we are to open schools, children between the age of 12 to 18 and teachers should be vaccinated against COVID-19.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Is this a possibility?
Yeah, thank you very much. We expected this yesterday, not even today, not even tomorrow. We expected it yesterday. When we talk about COVID-19 and taking these jabs, we need to know that in actual sense, we have to condemn those who went to school. The people who have brought for us the problem at this particular time are the people who are educated, including myself.
How is that possible?
They knew about this COVID-19 even before this COVID-19 came into our country, Uganda. You understand? They would have prepared for this COVID-19 before even getting one person dead. But the educated people kept the information within themselves. They waited until the people started dying, then they started now making a lot of noise about COVID-19. Now, when you talk about taking jabs, I am not against that.
But a number of people are very skeptical on whether they should take these jabs.
Because the educated people spoiled it. They started bringing a lot of theories in which people started fearing. You understand? So we call upon the government of the Republic of Uganda to take on this seriously. It should not be on paper as it is. It has to be implemented. Remember, they came out previously that they will come out with designated places where jabs will be taken. Come to Arua City. I don't know where jabs are being taken. Even I don't know where the testing are being done. Simply because the public is not aware. The things are done in hiding. We don't know.
The public does not know.
I stay in one of the areas of Arua City. When I'm to move through the Arua City, I don't see a tent calling people for jabs. And I believe this time around, the jab taking will be done in all the schools we have in Uganda. If the government wants to achieve in this movement of ensuring all the teachers and learners to be vaccinated, then it has to be done like the government did for measles, in which I participated also, because it reached up to where I was in that village.
Okay. Now, there is the aspect of mistrust that kept cropping in, like you made a mention of, and you realized that there were people, the government came out, papers kept reporting that there were people who were injected with water. And then at a certain point you realize that there is this kind of mistrust in the public, that there are certain people who are making money out of this. And recently there was a very powerful businessman who died on Monday, and the hospital authorities said he died of COVID, and the relatives said no, it is not true, he did not die of COVID. It caused a lot of fracas at a rural hospital on Monday, and so the relatives had to pick this body. They picked the dead body away from the hospital authorities. They said no, this is not COVID. So with all these issues that are happening, where do you see ourselves? Is this a likelihood? Will the learners and the teachers be receptive? Will they be able to accept, to come forward for the vaccination to take place? And yet, this is one of the conditions for the reopening of the schools. And yet, we need to get schools open.
Yeah, thank you. I think for our learners to go back to school together with teachers, let the government start with those who will take the job.
Those who are willing.
Those who are willing. And they should be allowed to study. Whoever refuses
should not go to school.
After all, we are going to get...
What about the teachers? If the teachers refuse?
If the teachers refuse, my friend, soldiers can teach. Can you remember the word of President
Not all soldiers are teachers.
Can you remember the word of President Yoweri that if the doctors refuse to go to work, to health facilities, my soldiers will go. So what I would say is that let us take this job. You understand? And we see what will come.
And how are we going to allay people's fears? Because in the previous occasion,
then we in the media,
people were injected with water. The media was awash with this. Even the government confirmed.
We need to take that up as the citizen of this country. Especially we in the media, we need to play that role because the people believe that we are the holders of information. You understand? So I would like to challenge us, the journalists, to take this up, to ensure that we give proper information, to put the leaders who are charged with the responsibility of ensuring that each and every citizen, each and every learner gets the job.
Okay. As we wrap this up, if I get the opportunity, probably we should be able to talk to the authorities. If they can give me my job while live on TV, I'll be able to accept that. I don't know if you will.
I will.
Okay.
But I am not a learner at this particular time. I will first give opportunity for my brother first to take so that he can really go.
We mix with the community a lot, essential workers.
We have to do so. I think I took mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm going to get to that. And yes, dear viewer, we've come to the end of our KOKOLORIKO show live on West Nile TV. As always, we are lighting the region. I had Origi Dennis, our news anchor, and he's also an editor, he's a reporter, he's so many things in one. My name is KOKOLORIKO Yusuf Andabati. Catch you again tomorrow. Same time, same TV station. Bye-bye.